Hey guys, welcome to the second video of my series on regex in Python. So in the first video, we got a basic introduction to the regular expressions. We understood what exactly are the regular expressions, their uses, some history behind them, and some basic syntax. And now it's time when we start using Python to explore regex. So in this video, we will just get started with using Python programming language for implementing different kind of regular expressions. So without any delay, let's get started. Okay, so here is the first thing that we need to know. The first thing that we need to know is that Python provides a RE module, which is a regular expressions module, which is built in and can be used for implementing regular expressions in Python. And important thing to understand here is that it uses the Perl flavor. So the regular expression engine that it is using is basically following the Perl flavor, which means that it is inspired from the regular expression, the way in which regular expressions are used in the Perl programming language. So it is inspired from that. So in order to use the regular expressions module, you need to do import RE, and that will import the regular expression module for you. So now let us try to understand, or let us get started with the first point, which is compiling regular expressions. So in Python, the first thing that you need to know do in order to use a regular expression is that you need to compile it into pattern objects. So in the RE module, every regular expression that you define is actually compiled into a pattern object, which has the pattern object has various methods for doing different kind of operations on any kind of input. So how do you compile any given regular expression string into a pattern object? How do you do that? So for doing that, all you have to do is you have to use the re.compile function, whose syntax is something like this, in which you pass a pattern string and you can pass some flags. So let us take a look at a very simple example. Pattern is equal to re.compile, in which I'm just passing hello. So what does this mean? It means that I have just created a pattern object which will match any given text for this particular expression, which is HELLO. So it will try to find maybe hello word in your any given input. So if I just try to print pattern, look at that. This is the representation, re.compile hello and re.unicode. So as you are seeing something called re.unicode here, re.unicode basically means is actually a flag, which is the default flag here, which means that the text that we are passing here for the pattern has to be considered as Unicode text, not simple ASCII text. So ASCII has a range from 0 to 255 only, so it is quite compact, has very less characters, but Unicode can be expanded as much as you want. So that's why we use re.unicode as the default, and Python 3 also supports Unicode by default. So that's why flag has a default re.unicode value. So this is a very simple pattern object. So type of pattern is a pattern object. Okay, so this is how you compile a pattern. So what happens is that the regular expression patterns are actually compiled into a series of bytecodes, which are then executed by a regex matching engine written in C programming language. So if you are using C Python, then you have a regular expression engine which has been written in the C programming language. And what happens is that this particular text that you have written here, hello, will be converted into bytecode, into a series of bytecodes, which is basically a compiled version of the Python code. And after that, that will be fed into the C programming language regex engine, and that will do any kind of matching and any kind of stuff that you want to do. Now let's come to the flag thing again. So there are a lot of flags, and you can learn more about the flags from this particular article, as well as there is one more video in this particular series which talks only about flags, but that part will come a bit later. So for now, let me just show you that if you want to use a flag, what you need to do. So let's say you want to use the ignore case flag. So as you can think that ignore case flag will simply ignore the letter case in your regex pattern. So basically, let me do re.compile, in which I put hello, and in the flags I put re.I, which is short for re.ignore case. So what will happen is that while matching, it will also match this, it will also match this, it will also match this. So this particular pattern will match with all these three inputs. Okay, so this is what it will do. So right now we are only learning how to create patterns. So if we just print pattern, you can see that um, there are two flags being used right now. Okay, and we will learn more about flags in some upcoming videos. So this was how you create patterns, but now let's move on to the main thing, the thing because for which we create the pattern, which is matching. So once we have created a pattern, we need to and compile it using the re.compile method. What we need to do is that we need to do some matching. So for matching, there are different methods provided by the pattern object. So a pattern object that you just created by using re.compile has different methods for pattern matching, which are these: match, search, find all, and find iter. So there are four methods which are used for performing matches in the RE module. So let us go through them one by one. So the first function that we are going to talk about is called match function. So a pattern object has a match method which can be used for matching. So as it is obvious, so a match is checked only at the beginning. So the special thing about this particular function is that it will match only at the beginning. Okay, so let us try to see this by taking an example. So let me create a pattern. Pattern is equal to re.compile hello. So here I created a simple pattern for me, and now I have some text which is, or let me just write it like pattern.match hello. So now what I am doing is I am calling the match method in which I am trying to match the hello world. So let us see what happens. Look at that, I get a match object in return. Okay, so let me just put it like match equal to this. So type of match, it is a match object. So now a match object is returned if a match is found for your given pattern in a given input. So now match dot, now there are multiple things that you can do with your match. So let me do match dot span. So match dot span will tell you the index or the positions between which a match for your given pattern was found in your input text. So let's say my text was hello world. Okay, so my match.span is still 0 to 5, whereas my complete text is hello world, but the match is found from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This much is the match which is found in my text. Okay, so this is the match function. Now one more thing to understand here is that let's say it was ELLO instead of hello. So type of match is none. So basically match that you will get is none if there is no match found. Okay, so what we have understood till now is that every pattern object has a match function which returns a match object if a match is found, and it returns none if no match is found. Now one more thing to understand here is that there are two optional arguments which are pose and end pose. So POS basically means the starting position from which you want to find the match. Its default value is obviously 0, as we can see, because it starts matching from the beginning, so its value is 0. So let me just show you ELLO and let me put it hello. Okay, so again the match is none. Why is it happening? Even though I have hello in my text, it is happening because the matching starts from beginning, right? So that's why. But if I just try to specify the position from which I want to find a match, pose equal to, and let me give the pose which starts from this particular position. So how many characters are there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from the 4th index, or let's say from the 5th index, I want to find a match. So I get the match from 5th to 10th index. So pose can be used to specify from where you want to start finding the match. And end pose basically means the ending index at up to which you want to find the match. So let's say in this case, if I just specify the end pose as 9, then what will happen is that it will only search up to the 9th index, which is up to this much, and up to this much text. Okay, so from pose 5, so it will search up only this much part of your input text, and in that it will not find a match for hello, and you will get none. So let us try it out. Look at that, you get none. Okay, so in this way you can use the concept of pose and pose for specifying a particular range in which you want to search for a particular match. And also the pattern dot match function only starts matching from the value of pose, which is by default 0. So this was all about the match function, and let's move on to the next part. Okay, so the next thing that we have here is the search function. So just like match function, there is search function, but the important thing about search function is that it does not depend on the value of pose. It will search anywhere in your string. It will check throughout the string. So let me show an example. Pattern dot search, in which I'm just gonna pass say hello. Okay, so let's see we get a match or not. Look at that, we get a match from 4 to 9. So even though the default value of pose is 0, but it does not mean that it will start matching from 0. It can start matching from anywhere in the text. It basically means that it will check throughout the text. Okay, so if it does not find a match in the beginning, that doesn't matter, but that matters in case of the match function. So say hello, we get a match from 4 to 9. And again, pose and end pose do the same thing. They specify the range within which you want to search. Okay, so pose in the search function specifies from where up to where you want to search, whereas pose here specifies from where you want to start the searching. Okay, so it will just start matching from the first character of your pose value, and if no match is found, it will return none. So again, that in the search function also, what you are getting in return is a match object. So yeah, so that's done. Let's move on to the next thing, which is a find all function. So find all function will find all the non-overlapping substrings where a match is found and return them as a list. So there is something special about the find all function. The special thing is that it will return you strings instead of match objects. So look at that, say hello hello. Look at that, it is just returning you the matches that it is finding. It is not returning you anything else, right? So let's say I define a pattern, re.compile. So let me define a pattern to find all the characters, all the digits in my text like this. So now if I just do pattern dot find all, in which I pass 1 2 3 4 5, so what will happen? You will get all the digits in your text like this, right? It is not giving you a match object in which you can find the span, which means the index from up to which you have found the match and anything like that. You are just getting strings as result, the matching strings in the input text as result. So this is what find all function is all about. But what if I want to search throughout the string, I want to find all the matches and I want to get them as match objects? Then in that case, I will have to use find iter function, which actually returns you an iterator of the match objects which have been found in the given text. So let us try it out now. So match underscore iter is equal to pattern dot, okay, so first of all let me create a pattern. Pattern is equal to re.compile, in which I'm just going to pass hello. So this is my pattern which I want to search in my text, and pattern dot find iter. Let me do say hello hello. Okay, so what it has returned me is a match object iterator. So it is an iterator. So now let me do next of match iter. So let's see what we get. So by using the next function over an iterator, we will get the first match object. So look at that, the first match object spans from 4 to 9, which is this much. Again I run this, the next match object goes from 10 to 15, which is this to this much. And finally we get stop iteration, basically no other match was found. Okay, so if you want to use the match iterator, you can also use it in the form of a loop for match in matches, print match. Okay, so you can do it like that. So let me run it again. So let me call it matches like this and run it. So look at that, we get all the matches. So you can generally we use a for loop for iterating through this particular iterator. So in this way we get all the results. So yeah, so this is all about the 4 different methods that we have for searching. And The important differences are match will return you a single match. It starts matching from the beginning of the text. Search will also return you the first match, but it will search throughout your string. It doesn't matter if the match is found at the beginning of the string or middle of the string or anywhere. Find all will find all the matches that it can find in your text, and it will return all these strings which are actually matching. It will not return you the match object. Finally, find iter will also return you all the matches in the form of match objects, not the strings. And yeah, that's all it is about. And all of these functions have pose and end pose, which you can use for specifying the range within which you want to search, right? So yeah, so this was all about the searching in the Python RE module. Now one more thing to understand here is that you can also use the module level functions. So by module level function, I mean that you do not need to do this particular thing, pattern equal to re.compile, in which you write hello and anything, and then you do pattern dot let's say find all, in which you put say hello hello, like this, right? So instead of doing this in 2 lines, you can also do this in 1 line by using the module level function. By module level function, I mean I will just write re dot find all. So re module, at the module level also we have a find all function, in which you can simply pass first of all your pattern, then you have to pattern string, and then you have to pass your text in which you want to do searching, and that's it, and you will get the same result. So this can also be done if you want to do the same thing in a 1 line. So we usually prefer to create a pattern separately where we want to use our pattern multiple number of times. So if you want to use your pattern multiple number of times, it is better if you create a pattern object first, and then you keep on using different methods of that pattern object. But if you want to use your regex pattern or searching for just a single case, then in that case you can simply use the module level function like this. So you can also do re.match, let's say hello and hello, so you will get the match, right? So you can use that as well. But let's say you do pattern dot match hello, that will also work, right? So these are the 2 different ways of searching. So yeah, so this was all about searching different kind of things, and now let me take you to some important example, which is the last part of this video. So let's say I have a text which is this book cost $15. So this is a simple text that I have, and now in this particular text I want to search for this pattern $15. So if I want to search this particular pattern, I can simply write pattern equal to re.compile $15. So let us see what happens. We get nothing. Pattern.search.txt is returning none, right? So why is it happening? It is actually happening because dollar is actually a special character. It is actually a meta character which carries a special meaning for the regex engine. So what we need to do is that we need to escape it by using a backslash character. So if you want to treat a meta character like a literal, by literal we mean that we want to treat it just like a simple character, then in that case you need to escape your meta character with a backslash character. So what you need to do here is pattern is equal to re.compile, in which you have to pass this backslash and dollar. So now you have escaped your meta character. Now it will actually be treated like a simple dollar, and then you write 15. So now pattern dot search txt, and look at that, you get the match from 16th index to 19th index, which contains $15. So in this way we are able to make a search, right? So actually there are a lot of meta characters in the regex engine. So there are 12 meta characters which I have provided here as a list, which need to be escaped if you want to use them like a literal. So you can just have a you can just have a look at them and just try to remember, or you can just go through them once in a while if you want to just check out that what are the characters which need to be escaped, right? One interesting thing though here is that the backslash also needs to be escaped if you want to use it as a literal. So in order to use a backslash as a literal, you need to escape it with another backslash, which is which may be quite confusing or can create some problems, don't you think? Well, actually, it can create some problems, and we're going to talk about them in the next video, which is called the backslash plague. So we are going to talk about that in the next video. So we just end our video right here, and I hope that you got to know a lot about the regex module in Python in this video. You got to know different ways of searching. You got to know about the pattern object, the match object, and so on. So I hope the concepts are clear. If you still have any doubts, you can put them in the comment section below. That's it from this video. Thanks for watching.